Hey everybody, welcome to Alternative Media Television. My name is Chad Booksam. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. All my truth warriors and everybody, I'm so glad you guys are joining us today. We have a lot of topics to go over, a very important discussion. Please leave your comments in the chat box, and I'll probably be going to questions later. But welcome all, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. Now, I want to start with the title of the video, which is Breaking Russia to Retaliate Against Israeli Airstrikes in Syria. Now, what is going on and why am I discussing this? Well, first of all, we've already discussed previously that Russia was sending warships more heavily equipped with military equipment to basically defend the skies in Syria. So we have an article up here that Alex is going to show us, our fearless producer, Alex. It's a Bloomberg article, but basically Russian missiles alarm Israel, stoking risk of next Syria crisis. Basically what is happening, and we discussed this previously, the mainstream media is just kind of picking it up now, but Israel has been bombarding Syria, hitting Iranian forces, hitting Iranian bases for some time now. Obviously, Russia said they were going to retaliate, and now they're going to retaliate by bringing in a more highly advanced air defense system for Syria. Now, Israel is very concerned of this, obviously, because what does Israel want to do? What is their number one priority? Taking out Assad to get to Iran. That's why they've been attacking Iranian forces. They see Russia as a big thorn in this agenda. Now look, and I'm not defending Russia, I'm not defending Israel, I'm not defending Iran. I'm just laying out the facts that we are going into war for things that are not even occurring, like this chemical false flag attack that now even Russia has stated that they have evidence that some of the containers came from the UK or other parts of the country, other parts of the European Union. Now, again, look, there's never any evidence because there is no evidence. Let's just keep this in mind. So, Russia is bringing in a more highly advanced system to defend. Now, already we have mission accomplished, right? Unfortunately, that's not true because the Iraq military, who built up the Iraq military after we took it out, after George Bush took it out? Who built up the Iraq military? What is the Iraq military other than a proxy of the United States? They have been striking Syria just a few hours ago. Everybody's attacking this little piece of land. So they've been striking Syria. Missiles have been launched in. Now, this is what I stated previously. Look, the United States capability doesn't need to be used from the source, which is our core U.S. military. We can use other countries to do the work for us. And now we've seen that happen time and time again, whether it's Israel, whether it's the Iraq Air Force, which they built up their own Air Force, or are these U.S.-made jets striking in Syria? So now you have Russia bringing in more military equipment. Now you have Russia basically saying they're going to retaliate against any airstrikes because they're bringing in an air defense system to basically fight back against Israeli airstrike attacks, which has occurred over and over and over again. Now, so let's look at this article here. Iraq has started bombing Syria too. I mean, why is everybody bombing this little piece of land besides, I mean, I know you guys know, but why is everybody bombing this little piece of land? Is it because we care so much about the people that we think missiles are helping them? Right? We care so much about the people that, death is going to help them? No, it's about the petrodollar, obviously. It's about money, it's about territory, and it's about oil, right? Oil. This is why we're doing it. It's about oil pipelines being built that Russia has basically enlisted their troops to defend. You have Israelis attacking Russian troops and Iranian troops in Syria, and Russia is promising to retaliate. Now, I have a special guest with us, the infamous Ashton Whitty, who's been doing such a great job. If you guys haven't seen, I recommend to watch all of her videos. She has dozens of videos on demand as well on amtvmedia.com. Click the link below and subscribe. She goes into detail for things like the Second Amendment, what's been happening in our country, and how the radical left thinks they own this country, which they really don't. Hey, Ashton, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So I know we haven't really got to discuss Syria too much. We were discussing a little bit, before we came on live. I just want to get your thoughts. I mean, how do you feel, about the Syria, about the chemical attack that kind of initially caused the U.S. airstrikes into Syria? And just give me your go. I'll let you go ahead. Give me your, basically what you think is really happening in the Middle East.
Well, it's really interesting to me because a lot of Trump supporters, I'm not off the Trump train. I still am very much a Trump supporter. But a lot of these Trump supporters say, oh, we need to trust Trump, trust the intelligence agencies. I can't but think you mean the same intelligence agencies that basically let Hillary get away with everything and let Trump, go after Trump every single time. The intelligence agencies are behind Stormy Daniels. They're the ones behind Comey, obviously. So everything that's going on right now with the intelligence agencies attacking Trump, Trump supporters are not telling me to trust the intelligence agencies when it comes to Syria. And what I mean by that is with the whole chemical attacks thing, we have actually no evidence that Assad is the one who did it. On top of that, if you look at all of the people who are currently attacking Syria, as you said, are nothing more than proxies for the US, the UK, and France, all who were fighting for in what could possibly be World War III. Not sure about that yet, so I'm not going to make any facts based on that. But there's
Well,
definitely going to be something much greater than what's happening right now. This is just the beginning. No world war ever started with just a few pew, pew, pew. No, it has to go over time. And chances are it's going to be, in my theory, the next year or so. And that's usually how most the other two world wars went over time.
right. Well,
Um,
I think that we've evolved in a way where we don't have to go to these little conventional wars that last 4 years. In my opinion, I kind of feel like after 9/11, we've kind of been in the World War III arena. And right when Russia came into the Middle East, I mean, now we have a nuclear power defending what? The Bashar al-Assad government. So this is where it gets really scary. And this is why we've discussed World War III, because look at it. I mean, you have to look at your history. The same thing happened in the 1930s. I mean, we have economic trade war all over the place. We have Donald Trump threatening to leave the World Trade Organization. We have all of these superpowers, okay, and multiple countries fighting each other, whether it's Israel striking Syria, whether it's Saudi Arabia striking Yemen. And you actually made an interesting point about Saudi Arabia that I want you to bring up to the audience regarding Yemen. Why don't you go ahead and talk about
uh,
that a little bit?
Saudi Arabia used chemical weapons on Yemen, and yet we have done nothing for the people of Yemen. We have not gone and we have not stormed our troops through the country. We have not attacked Saudi Arabia. And the reason being is that the same reason we're willing to defend Israel no matter what, right? I mean, Saudi Arabia is supposedly an ally, which, I personally, I don't think they should be. I don't think we should be giving our money to any countries. The only way to make America first, make America great again, is by, minding your own business, staying out of these foreign issues that have nothing to do with us. But of course, when our allies, attack other people, we just stand by and watch. But the moment, supposedly someone uses chemical weapons on their own people, which makes absolutely no sense, we go in without any evidence whatsoever. We just trust the same intelligence agencies that have been attacking Trump this entire time. The same intelligence agencies that have been going against the American people for generations.
Right. And you make a great point. And I've discussed this, like, it's not even about, look how funny this is, Ashton, how they're saying, look, if this is how they feel, look, they're saying to Assad, kill as many people as you want, just don't use chemical weapons. That's when it matters. I mean, is that even
Yeah,
making,
don't use chemical weapons. Let's bomb the place.
yeah. Like, first of all, look, what we have even occurring with Saudi Arabia and Israel, a lot of people think that, no, what do you mean? They're not allies. They have the same goals. They don't have the same. Yes, they do. They both want to push back Iran. They both want to remove Bashar al-Assad. That's why they have an alliance. Now, Jared Kushner, and I've discussed this, helps facilitate this alliance. He's very tight with both countries. That's why you've seen him go back and forth, kind of facilitating this alliance, whether it's these billion-dollar arms deal with Saudi Arabia, or whether it's, basically giving the blessing, coming from the Trump administration, to Israel to do these bombings. So, I mean, this is why I stated this. Look, I know Donald Trump is under FBI investigation since he's launched his campaign. I know he's under ambush from everybody from the mainstream media to academia and so forth. But at the same time, look, he has honestly, these globalists around him like John Bolton, like Jared Kushner, who are basically New World Order advocates, and they want to push forward the New World Order agenda, which is pretty much what did General Wesley Clark say not too long ago? oh, we're going to take out all of these countries, and now Syria and Iran is on the table. I don't think Israel is going to let Iran um, keep growing as fast as they are. There's a lot of propaganda going out there, and I think Benjamin Netanyahu, even though he's under multiple scandals currently, that before he leaves office, I mean, he's going to do what he said. I don't know if you remember, he had like this cardboard image of like the bomb showing that at any moment Iran is going to have the nuclear weapon. And we already see Donald Trump pushing back from the Iranian nuclear deal, which I find interesting. And hey, I want to ask you about one thing here, because this is why I say everything kind of connects back to 9/11. Look at what we're reading on NBC News, that a suspected 9/11 recruiter, now look at this propaganda, right? A suspected 9/11 recruiter, Mohammed Haidar Zamar, captured in Syria. So now they're kind of bringing up, right, that, see, we're still going after these 9/11 suspects. And I discussed this in a previous video, Ashton. I don't know if you've watched it, but basically Jared Kushner and John Bolton, what they want to do is pretty much build up an Arab army that Saudi Arabia is going to enlist. Now, how do you feel about that? Do you think is this going to become another ISIS or Al-Qaeda?
It probably will be, honestly. I mean, granted, ISIS, obviously has the religious tactics that they do. They are a cult and a terrorist organization based on their religion and their extremist values. But essentially, if we were to go into the Middle East, it makes a whole lot of sense. Take out Assad, recruit an army, which is just as bad as ISIS, without the religious beliefs, of course. Maybe it's based on more political matters. Right. An entire army that caters to the U.S. and Israel. Yeah. That is what is going on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Now, there is this article, Alex, if you can bring it up. It's on Zero Hedge. It says, containers with chlorine from Germany and smoke grenades from UK found in Syria's Ghouta region. Isn't it always funny, Ashton, how the chemical attacks always happens in they say it's rebel controlled, but ISIS controlled towns? It's never held in towns where the Bashar al-Assad government is running the show.
My question is if it was in Ghouta, why did Trump send the missiles to abandoned fields and empty buildings in the capital?
Yeah, I think it's, these are propaganda strikes because we still have armadas, U.S. warships going off the Syrian coast. I think basically what he tweeted, that, hey, Russia, the missiles are coming, and here's a little taste. I mean, in my opinion. Now,
that was a warning. I think Trump knows what's going on. I think he knows that he's trying to be pressured into World War III. I think he knows that the globalists are trying to push him to something that's not good. I think he's onto them. But at the same time, I'm still in the Trump train. But my issue isn't Trump. My issue is the globalists who are pushing behind him. And you know what happened with JFK? You know what they did to JFK when he told them no? Right. They assassinated him.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening with Trump. I think he has literally and figuratively a gun to his head, and he's forced to go into the same agenda we have seen with Bush, with Obama, with Clinton.
Yeah, I mean, the policy is the same, right? No matter what president is in office, unfortunately, it's the continuation of the same dark state policies. I was really, and think about it, right when Donald Trump announced that he's going to withdraw from Syria, the chemical attack happened, and then he struck Syria. I find that interesting, that timeline. Like, right when he...
It's almost like someone wanted him to stay in Syria.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. And you know what? And again, we've discussed this here where, obviously, when you walk into the White House, I mean, things are going to change. Trump, I mean, it's hard to change. You can't change this old dog, in my opinion. But obviously, I mean, they come up to him, these deep state operatives, the same one that JFK talked about. And there is a similar, ominous connection between JFK and Trump, in my opinion, where they both talk about how these dark forces are really controlling the country, whether it's JFK discussing
the CIA.
CIA, secret societies, or whether it's Trump discussing the dark state. I find that a really interesting connection between the two.
What's really funny is that after JFK was assassinated, it almost seems like the rest of the Kennedys kind of went like more globalist. Like, have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well,
And you kind of see this trend now with, Trump's oldest daughter, Ivanka. She kind of was like the one who was like, oh, we need to stay in Syria, we need to stay in Syria, Granted, she's married to Jared Kushner, so.
mm, yeah, I mean, they've been part of that, circle in New York, unfortunately. Again, I've always thought, Trump is a little bit of an outsider, his own, kind of his own man. But honestly, like I'm not agreeing with his geopolitical decisions. I don't agree with him signing the omnibus bill. And he can make these decisions and fight back. But look, again, I've asked people, what would you do if you're in President Trump's shoes, where literally you're under investigation, where you and your
The
family,
CIA is holding a gun to your head.
Yeah, it's
I
tough.
mean, that's the whole reason Stormy Daniels is happening. They're trying to distract the public what's going on. See, all these Trump supporters are like, oh, we have to trust Trump and what he does. They don't understand Trump doesn't have control. The president has never had control in the history, well, maybe not the history, but like in the past 200 years.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, what people understand is that I'm not off the Trump train when I criticize something Trump does. I'm criticizing the fact that there is an entire globalist regime pushing behind him, trying to push their own agenda, and people don't realize that.
You're a real Trump supporter if you disagree and you're not just parroting what everybody is saying. I mean, I find that funny. Like a disagreement is, oh, you're off the Trump train because you disagree. No, that is a
No, I actually know what's going on.
Yeah, that's a misguided.
I know that this is not Trump doing this because Trump has told us many times, no more stupid wars. And I think now that he's in office, he realizes, oh my gosh, I have no control over this.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a misguided ideology, saying that you can't speak up. That's what a true patriot does. Now, but look, in my opinion, Trump can continue to fight back. He can continue to not make the decisions regardless of the pressure. But yeah, you have this dark state operation that's behind him, who really is running the show, and we've seen this time and time again. Now, speaking of, how, we discussed, I just wanted to kind of change the subject, but then we're going to come back to this. But, look, I never agreed with the Bush family. I never agreed with George Bush Sr. or George Bush Jr. or any other
Or
policies.
Jeb Bush.
Or Jeb Bush, of course. Jeb. Low energy Jeb. That ruined his whole life. But what I saw yesterday, especially coming from like these leftist professors, it was just disgusting. I'll let you talk about it a little bit. But basically,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, where's the human decency anymore to where, and you have these radical leftist college professors these are the ones teaching our kids, right, who get very angry over microaggressions, okay? But they'll mock somebody's death and basically saying she wanted to dance on Barbara Bush's grave, regardless
And
if you liked her or not.
this was a professor at a Fresno or Fullerton, or what was this? It was a California university.
Fresno State, yeah.
Yeah, no, and so it's just interesting to me. This is a woman who I'm sure I looked through some of her tweets got protected. That she blocked off a lot of people. But she was, exactly as described, very microaggression, very, very SJW in a sense. But then she mocks someone's death. Now, I'm not a fan of the Bushes either. I just told you how I'm very angry with the globalist nation trying to take over the entire world. And the Bushes are definitely associated with that. But that being said, I'm not going to mock someone's death. And, I actually think Barbara Bush did offer a lot of amazing things to this country. Granted, don't agree with their politics all the time, but I think Barbara Bush, out of many of the women we've seen in history, she is, almost compared to even Jackie O. And so, not only did she handle the world, America with her career with grace and dignity, but she was a symbol of America, right?
No,
Whether you agree with her or not. But the point is, anyone's death, you do not mock it. You do not, and to say that publicly, I want to dance on this person's grave, Maybe I would say that's something about, like, Hitler or Castro, but...
Yeah, and look, I think it's the bigger picture. Like, look, these radical leftist college professors, look, if you said, spokesman instead of spokesperson around her, she would have freaked out, He's like, she'll freak out over these. This is just what I've been discussing for a long time.
My thing is, imagine if someone said, "Oh, I'm going to dance on Trayvon Martin's grave."
Oh yeah, I mean the whole.
I'm going to dance on Malcolm X's grave because
yeah.
Malcolm X started riots. I'm going to dance on his grave.
Yeah, the mainstream media would have went nuts. But just
the left doesn't say that. The right doesn't say it. Nobody says that because it's wrong. unless you are truly, truly evil,
Well, that's
I'm
what's
not going to
happening.
say it.
This is the point I wanted to make because there is this evil that's been growing in this country because we have these kind of teachers and professors who are teaching our kids and they're brainwashing them left and right. Look, yeah, obviously, especially in the midst of like an immediate death. I mean, it's just disgusting. But this is the people who are teaching our kids. That's why they're growing up. They hate America. They think America is illegitimate by its founding. They're tearing down statues left and right. They want to rip up the Constitution. You got Fist Pump Kid, and you know who I'm talking about, Ashton. Who basically they look up to want to take our guns away. Now he's doing he's doing a book tour. He's making money off of these deaths. And Ashton, I had my cousin, whose his name is Ashton too, who was in the Parkland school shooting, right?
I
And
saw that,
who
yeah.
did an attempt to make money off of these kids. And now you have this, I don't even say his name because I just don't want to even like promote him. But Fist Pump Kid, that's what I just call him in the silver suit.
Fist Pump Kid?
Yeah.
You know what I call him? I call him, gosh, what do I call? I called him something. Oh! He attacked Alex Jones. I got really angry about that. So I call him like tap water Snuggie.
Tap water Snuggie.
He looks like he's like a little tiny toddler who's just be drinking tap water.
Oh my God.
I made it. Yeah, no, he's or it was yeah, no, he's a special kind of Oh yeah, I call all his fans the hog herd.
Right. Well,
yeah.
I call him camera hog, right?
Oh yeah.
no, but I mean, this is just what we see occurring, and I know we're getting off subject a little bit, but look, I mean, it's pretty much unfortunate
Same
that we
thing.
have all of these liberal college professors are the ones.
I just did a video on it. In the education system in general, with high school students and college students, you see this push. I just did a video on this for AMTV, where you see this push to push these kids into the same mindset of life. They're not teaching these kids basic life skills. The average kid can't change a tire, they can't cook, and then they go to their counselor and say, "Oh, hey, I don't want to do with the rest of my life." They say, "Oh yeah, just go to four-year college no matter what." They get a worthless degree. They get out. They're hundreds of $1,000s in debt, and the only thing they know is a microaggression: what to say and what not to say,
Right.
how to comply to the government's freedom of speech, or the government's quote-unquote freedom of speech. So basically what happened was they spent their entire time through school learning what to say and what not to say, only to get in debt so they can rely on the government even more because they're in debt and they can't get a job with a worthless degree.
Right. Now,
the entire education system is rigged to push for the same globalists who are pushing against Trump. It's a whole cycle.
Yeah. Well, guys, I hope you subscribe on demand because Ashton makes awesome videos, goes into detail. Her last name is a reflection of who she really is. She's very witty. And please click the link below. Subscribe to AMTV On Demand so you can watch her videos. She's done multiple ones there. Join the Underground. Become an on-demand member. And follow Ashton also on Twitter at Ashton Birdie. And follow us on AMTV on Twitter at AMTV Media. I'm going to leave it there. Ashton, thanks for coming on the show. Is there any last thoughts that you wanted to talk to the audience about?
I think it's really important to tell the audience that you should never follow a party or a politician, and that you are not an American because you worship a government. You are an American because you worship singular liberties. So I think that's what we really need to push for.
Amen. Amen. Amen to that. Thanks, Ashton. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So now we're going to go back to the Middle East for a little bit. I'm going to take your guys' questions in a second. I'm going to take a sip of coffee first. All right. See, very smart. And, very proud to have her on our team. I mean, she's been doing amazing work for AMTV. And again, please click the link below so you can support, not just us here, not just Alex, myself, or Chris, but Ashton and all of our other contributors. We're going to have more soon coming to AMTV Media. So please support us. Click the link below and join the Underground Railroad because it's so important. It's so important. Messaging is so important. I've discussed this in previous videos. We're doing multiple things. We're talking about multiple subjects. We have Christopher Green, who just added a new video to a 0 to 1 Life Accelerator course, which is really amazing. It teaches you how to succeed in life. It teaches you, about mindset. It teaches you how to make money on social media. He goes into great detail. So definitely sign up to that because at the end of the day, you need tools in life. and we're doing multiple things. And that's what the AMTV Underground is about. It's a community. It's not just talking about politics. It's not just talking about, foreign or domestic politics, but we have life-changing courses. We have forums that you can lead your own discussion that I'll be moderating. And basically, we want you to lead the discussion. We want to learn from you. We want to learn back and forth. And then I can make videos on what you guys are talking about as well. And I think it's a great community. And remember, the whole country can't be run by radical leftists. Not every institution can be run by radical leftists. Am I wrong about this? Is this too much to ask? That's why we need your support. So look, at the end of the day, most of our content is free. But on demand, we have things that we can't say here. Like somebody asked me about 9/11. Like who really did 9/11? Unfortunately, we can't talk in detail about what occurred, okay? That's why you should subscribe to AMTV On Demand to get the real truth. And the truth warriors who are subscribed now can absolutely speak to that. So, what else is going on in the news? Let's bring up the Drudge Report. Let's see what they're talking about there. Okay. So they're still basically talking about Mueller and the personal raid. See, this is the whole thing with the mainstream media. Look what we have going on. Like, again, we have the Iraqi military, which is, again, an extension of the United States, striking Syria, Israel striking Syria, Russia bringing in way more advanced military defense systems, and they're only talking about Stormy Daniels. They're only talking about Mueller. Look, we already know what Mueller's going to do. This is not a story. Or they're talking about James Comey, who just went on a book tour. What kind of former FBI director, if he loves this country so much, is making money off the people because he's the worst FBI director ever who let Hillary Clinton go because he wanted her to win so much, right? You can't just stand Trump. He's such a Neanderthal. Look, I don't care if you love or hate Trump. That's not even the question. And again, I've stated that I disagree with a lot of the things he's doing. I'm a patriot, but he won the election. But you can't win the election when you look at Jeb and say, your brother lied, okay? Brought us into Iraq for no reason, which we know is the truth. Stating things like Barack Obama was the founder of ISIS. These things are the truth, 100%. Now he gets in there. Why do you think he's under investigation? Or that he wanted to have a good relationship with Russia, right? Because that's how they're going to control him. Oh, you want to have a good relationship with Russia? Okay, let's put you under FBI investigation for a crime that's not even a crime, which is called collusion, even if it happened or not. See what happens when you speak out, speak against? And I think Ashton Whitty, she was making a good point about this, where there's a lot of pressure. Put yourself in Trump's shoes. I mean, kind of put yourself in Trump's shoes. I try to do that. I try not to speak so badly, even when he makes certain decisions. I'll announce it and I'll disagree. But with any president of the United States, put yourself in their shoes, especially ones who speak out against the dark state. Obama never spoke out against the dark state. You know what Obama did? He was attacking police, local police officers. Just normal folk, neighbors who work for the local police, calling them stupid and things like that. He never went after the true New World Order hierarchy, the dark state army that pushes forward the New World Order agenda. He never did. He only attacked local police officers, which is ridiculous. And he was applauded for it, right? He was applauded for it. Donald Trump goes after these dark state entities, this criminal, James Comey, in my opinion, because he perjured himself multiple times and lied to Congress. The mainstream media, if Hillary Clinton would have won the election, okay, keep this in mind and mark my words on this. If Hillary Clinton would have won the election and fired James Comey, which she would have done right when she got into office, every liberal in this country would have celebrated. Everyone. The mainstream media would have celebrated. Everyone. So look, yeah, he's at this book event. Pathetic. Well, his career ended. Donald Trump did the right thing by firing him, and that's the way the story goes. Okay. Now, the world is unstable, okay? There's not much stability here, even domestically in our country, where, you have riots already kind of gaining steam because they think Donald Trump is going to fire Rob Mueller, which he should. Fire him. Fire him. He's not even going after Russian collusion because there isn't any. If there was, maybe I'd say, okay, but let's move on because it's not a crime anyway. But there's not. They just use Russia to demonize everything to push forward their agenda. We see it left and right, chemical attacks, nerve agent attack from the UK to stop the Brexit vote from going through. What do we see happening in this country just because Donald Trump won the election and we want a border and we want a wall? No, Russia is the one who wanted it, and Russia is the reason why it happened. They're using all these tactics to demonize, to absolutely demonize. You know, it really is sad. And we do have that, civil war mentality in this country, unfortunately, because, and it's gonna get more heated once we get closer to the midterm elections, especially. I mean, look how crazy the left is gonna go if they don't win the House and the Senate. Who's gonna be the reason why they didn't win the House and the Senate, right? If the Republicans keep the majority. If the Republicans keep the majority, Russia probably did it again, right? This is what I'm gonna assume. Now, keep this in mind, guys. This is very dangerous for Trump. I don't think most people understand how important it is. If the left wins the House and the Senate, which, honestly, I think they might, because the Republicans don't have the backbone to fight. They never have. They never have. I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the Republicans whatsoever. Neither of them. We need a whole new political model in this country. But if the Democrats win, mark my words, Donald Trump's going to get impeached for sending a mean tweet. And Maxine Waters, she's going to be impeached 4 to 5. She goes on TV, impeached 4 to 5. Unbelievable. Yeah, let's show her Maxine Waters. She's something else, man. But anyway, yeah, so if the left wins, they're going to impeach Donald Trump. This is just a fact. This is a fact. Now, before I move on, I want to talk about the Middle East just a little bit more before we wrap up for the day and before I take some questions from you guys. I think human decency is being destroyed in this country. I think there's too much hatred. You see it everywhere. You see that vile mob who just feeds off negativity. They're always speaking in such a manner where the hatred is just projecting. Like anybody who says anything, even people who comment, who say negative things, they're just projecting their own hatred. I mean, they don't see that. God bless them. God bless you. But they're just projecting their own hatred. This is their inner self that they're showing you, okay? Now, that's why I was saying, even I disagree with the Bushes. Look, regardless what you think about the Bush family, when somebody just dies, where's the human decency to kind of like step back and show even respect, even for your worst enemy? It used to be like that back in the day. You know, I like Alex Jones and I respect him, but like Roger Stone was like coming out yelling like, yo, burn in hell. You know, she's gonna burn in hell. Who are you? Are you God? To put judgment on somebody's head like that? I don't care like what you think of her. Even your worst enemy, in the moment of death, they used to show a little bit of respect and decency. And unfortunately, that has been getting ripped apart in this country. Where is the moral structure? Where is it? It's gone. Everybody feeds off so much hatred. That's why, again, we're kind of in this energy where we're in the brink of a civil war. And when you have comments like that, that reminds me of a radical leftist. You know, we want a new message, okay? And we fight evil with good and light. We don't fight it with evil. And comments like that, I think that is just absolutely disgusting. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but, you know, I just think even your worst enemy should show just a little bit of decency, right? Just a little bit. But no, clicks. Let's get the clicks going. But that just feeds the beast. And we have a beast energy in this country. There's too much evil. Too much evil. You know, people ask, why is Christopher Green, like, not always talking about politics and he wants to talk about something else? Because he sees this. It's disgusting. So we have to have a different message. We have to do multiple things. Because, again, with you guys, we're hoping to change the world, to change this country. Just even a little bit of change can help, right? Okay. So, again, guys, keep in mind, and this is why we always talk about preparation and stuff like that. Look what's going on in the Middle East. It's the instability is everywhere. Instability is everywhere. Missiles keep flying. The mission hasn't been accomplished. Missiles are still flying, whether it's Israel doing it for us, Saudi Arabia doing it, or the Iraqi military doing it. You have Iranian commanders already threatening that and showing off their new missile defense systems. It's very unstable. The instability is just immense, and anything can happen at any moment. And that's why people say, oh, why do you always talk about World War III? Because all of these countries are at war with each other, and they're backed by superpowers. That's why. And that's why you need to be prepared. It's just common sense. Make sure you click the link below. We just got our 30-day food storage back in. Okay, we still have 20% off on our 60-day food storage. Click the link below and make sure you're prepared, because anything can happen very quickly. The mainstream media is blacking out all the information. We see this left and right. That's why there's alternative news. If you don't get the food, you can get the food storage anywhere, but we recommend getting it from us so you can support alternative news, so we can continue fighting this propaganda war that we fight every single day. We wake up every single day, myself, Alex, John, Christopher Green, Ashton Whitty, to bring the truth, to take the fight to the mainstream fake stream media. Trash diggers, that's what they are. Are there any comments in the chat box? Or any questions that I can actually talk about here? Okay, do you think there will be war in Turkey, or just plain stupid World War III? That's a good question. I didn't see the name, but look, that's a good question. Look, Turkey, what have they been doing? They've been already, I mean, there is a war between the Turks and the Kurds, right? We've been supporting the Kurds, which is kind of like right on the Turkish border. For a long time, the Kurds have been wanting to create Kurdistan. The Turks have been against that, and they've been fighting each other for a while. I think with all the new escalations that's occurring, I mean, Turkey absolutely is going to come in. They're not going to stand by. They want to remove Assad as well, okay? Because they want to remove Assad as well, 100%. Because they support the Sunni influence, obviously. But with the Kurds, this is very important. We've been funding them. You know, the CIA has been funding them. Now, we've been using them not to supposedly work with the rebels, which is ISIS, to take down Bashar al-Assad. But, you know, they want to create, one of their goals is to create Kurdistan that's on the border with Syria, Iraq, and Turkey, I believe. And the Turks aren't going to have that. And they will fight back. And they have been fighting back. And they have been starting wars. Now with Saudi Arabia even saying, and they've met with the Turkish leaders and met with some other Sunni leaders in the region, saying that they're going to build up an Arab army with the backing of the United States, with the backing of Donald Trump. That's going to escalate it further. Iran, Russia, and these other countries see it. So, look, Turkey's going to come in. This is why we see world war. This is why, because the moves, all the chess pieces have been set, and everybody's fighting with everybody, even though CNN and the mainstream media is only talking about Stormy Daniels and porn stars. Well, Russia's retaliating right now. Russia's retaliating right now. They've been bringing in much more stronger defense systems. Israel's going to keep striking. Now, there's a total media blackout, but remember this. Russia was invited by the Bashar al-Assad government to protect them, okay? Russia didn't come in, okay, to go to war with the United States. But Russia made that decision. And right when that decision was made, they entered World War III. And as Israeli strikes keep occurring, and once this Russian missile defense system is up, the new one, and a missile attacks an Israeli jet or whatever the case might be, guys, I just hope, you know, you're prepared and you're not tuned in to CNN, Fox, or any of these other fake stream news media outlets, because that's the truth. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Again, it's been a pleasure sitting here with you guys talking. You know, I love you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate the audience more than anything. Please thumb up this video. How many thumbs up do we have? Because, you know, remember about the censorship. Like, if you guys don't thumb up this video, 130, come on. Guys, please thumb up the video, because the censorship is meant to shut down the conservative voice. It's meant to shut down the independent voice. It's not just about conservatism. You know, it's about alternative news. And if we can't appear in recommendations, what do they say? That they want to put us in a dark corner? Please thumb up this video. Share it. Email it to your friends, your family. We should be much higher than 133. We have 653 people watching. It's free to click the thumbs up. Help us fight back against this wall, this censorship wall, okay, that they've put in front of us, so we can't even speak. Soon, we're not even going to be able to do this. You know, and the people have to speak up. It can't just be radical leftist liberals who are protesting on the street every day. Please keep thumbing it up. Get it up as high as you can. I know that, you know, patriots and Americans, we work. We don't have time to hit the streets and protest every day like these radical leftists who don't do anything, who rely on welfare, and who are always on the street protesting because they don't work and they don't care about this country. So please keep thumbing it up. Please, guys. And share it with everybody. Please. Now, if we can get to 300, I feel that's enough at least to make this pop up in some recommendation searches. And at the end of the day, guys, just keep in mind what happened after 2016, what happened after the election. The purge began. The purge began, and people need to speak up. We need your support. We need to fight together. We can't do this on our own. You know, we can't do this on our own. And again, it's much appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. We're going to keep bringing the truth. We're going to keep working as hard as we can for you every day. We're going to get up. We're going to bust our butts. We're going to fight against the mainstream media. We're never going to give up no matter what they say. We love this country. We love human decency. We love the light. We're going to keep fighting against evil, and we just need your support. Yeah. Corey, somebody said this channel is controlled by the government. Really? That's so funny. You know, it is really something else, especially when you're here and you're in it. We've been fighting against the dark state for so long. All of you. All of us has. And, you know, it's really funny. And please keep thumbing up the video. All of us have. If you remember, we've talked about the New World Order here at AMTV, other alternative news sites, which I recommend that you do support, because there are alternative news sites just like us who are not supported by the government, no matter what these, you know, people say. God bless you. But we've been talking about these New World Order entities. We've been talking about what the dark state has been doing. We've been against all of these wars. And they said that it was never you, that you're a Russian troll, that I'm a Russian bot, that we're Russian trolls. This is what they stated. This is why the message is so important and the truth is so important. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to leave it there. We're at 266, but keep sharing it with your family and your friends. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, subscribe on demand. I'll be back on Tuesday, right after Chris's show from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'll be on from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time Tuesday. We're going to keep bringing on more guests. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to keep the discussion going. Click the link below. Join us on demand. Support this movement. I love you guys, and God bless.